podcast. I'm your host, Dan Potts, and I thought I'd bring two legends on with me today. One, tapping Tobs, and two, Dan Lawless. We have a Tottenham and a West Ham fan that get on, but you wouldn't know it on some streams, trust me. Toby, how you doing, bro?
I'm great, man. I'm good. It's Friday. Burna Boy's new album came out, so I'm living life. Yeah.
I'm going to pretend to know who that is. Lawless, how are you, man?
How do you not know who he is? Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, I know who that is. But yeah, I'm good. Been just doing a watch along for the pre-season game, seeing the youngsters flourish. Hopefully, wait and see Dan Potts come on the pitch actually, because we do have a Dan Potts who's on the bench right now for West Ham.
Do you?
Yeah, Steve Potts.
I know the one who plays for Luton, the left back from Luton. I knew him, but I didn't know there was another Dan Potts.
Yeah, we got Dan Potts. His dad.
Wow.
Dad
Is he any good?
Does he not listen to Burna Boy as well?
He's not breaking. I think. He probably hasn't listened to Burna Boy. He's not sitting there, marking his calendar for his album and checking off each day and going, "Oh, it's Burna Boy's release day for his album."
Who told you I was doing those just because I said, "Oh, his album's come out"?
It was like, "Oh, Burna Boy's album's out today." I'm so excited. It's like I remember I used to get excited for album releases like back in the day, like not in 2022. You'd sort of,
Tobes is into his music, man. Let's just allow it. Let's just allow it. He's into his music. Lawless, let's start with you, man.
To have a dig at him, to be fair.
Lawless, let's start with you, man. You're 2-0 up at the moment. Is that right?
Yes, 2-0 up.
What's been going on? Talk to me. How's the game been?
Yeah, no, it's been good. Like seeing the youngsters have been really good. Oh, bloody hell. It's just Trot's just flying out. Yeah, it's been like one of them games. It's a pre-season game, isn't it? Like, so it's not exciting. There's no stakes, but at the same time, you want to see quality in the youngsters or new signings. None of our new signings are playing today. So we didn't get to see that, but I've got to see some quality youngsters in there, which is what.
Who were the guys that scored for you, man? I can't lie, I've never heard of them.
Elise and Mubama, which Mubama is a player who is an under-18s player who not many West Ham fans knew of. But because Sonny Perkins has left West Ham, our under-23 striker, when Antonio comes off, we literally have to go to the under-18s to get a striker. We're that starved of strikers now. So, yeah, that's how bad things are and how badly we need a striker because, boy, Antonio's coming off.
Fucking hell, man.
What?
How long have we heard this? How long have we heard this?
Mate, thank you, Potts. They've needed a striker for like 2 centuries. Just get one already, man. What the hell?
Well, listen, tell Moyes that. Don't tell me, tell Moyes. I'm waiting for him. I'm dying for him.
It's gonna finally happen, Dan. Come on. This is too long
listen,
now.
Apparently Broja is close.
Here we go, Tobes. This will be funny. Who is it now? Come on.
Where's the source?
Broja.
Wallahi, trust me, bro. That's the source.
Listen, it's Broja. Broja's all right, Tobes, I swear it was you. One of you lot was like praising up the Athletic and how the Athletic is reputable. Someone I was speaking to.
When did I say that?
Someone I was speaking to. I can't remember if it was from this group or another group, but anyway, they said that we're pushing for Broja. Broja's maybe looking to leave because they ain't taking him on the US tour. So when we're willing to pay like 40 mil for Broja, so it could happen. That's what I'm saying. So
you'd be happy with that, Lawless?
Yeah, I'd definitely be happy with Broja.
Yeah, I like him.
He might not be a striker that's going to come in off the bat and be banging in every week, but I think there's a lot of potential there for him to grow, and I think he'll suit us and really give Antonio some competition for sure. So, yeah, I'd definitely be excited. Hopefully we can pull up. It's going to be a tough one because Chelsea just being long, like when it comes to their players, whether it's selling or buying. I just want to get that down. And they're going to try and press the Rice thing, but we're not selling Rice. If they try and get petty, none of this tit-for-tat business, like, well, you give us Rice or we won't sell you our player. It's like, we're trying to give you money, mate.
Yeah, but they're well within their rights to tax you for Broja. Simple.
Yeah, but listen, we're trying to... 40 mil is good, isn't it? Good enough for them.
Do you think that would be a good signing for West Ham, Tobes?
Broja, yeah, I think it would be. I think, obviously, there's still more things he needs to do in his development, but he's young. I feel like that's a striker that they can actually build off for the next couple of years.
Yeah, I agree. I I must admit, I looked at him and for Southampton, I thought, this guy has got something, and I think it would be a good opportunity for West Ham because you can't rely on Antonio again, man. Like, I know, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, but at 32, 33 or whatever he is now, you need someone who's going to be in front of him, not just back up. And I was worried when you said, Lawless, a few weeks ago that you thought Moyes might get a backup centre forward behind Antonio. I don't think you can go down that road.
It should be.
You
It
can't
should be
do
the
that.
other way around.
Yeah. Is that the case still, Lawless?
I don't think it's. I think if he gets Broja, he will definitely put a lot of. He'll push him to be the number one, but he won't just come in and be number one. But I think Broja will be his guy. Where if you don't get Broja, he'll probably be happy to get a backup in. You know. So yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to say. I hope not, because I think Antonio, if he's not playing the amount of football he was playing last season, I think he will be very good. I think he was just well overplayed last season.
Yeah, no, fair play, man.
Then get Broja and then do a rotation thing, innit?
Yeah, like big time. Like between all the competitions, and Broja's young enough to play those extra minutes and stuff like that. That would be a signing I'd get hyped over. For sure, if we can pull it off. But I think it's one of them ones. If it happens, it'll probably happen towards the end of the transfer.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be Chelsea will sort their stuff out first, and then they'll realise actually we can afford to take the money for him and go for it. But let's talk about a couple of players, Lawless, for West Ham first, before we move on to Arsenal's game today and Arsenal's rumours, and then we'll go on to Spurs. Lawless, you are linked with the Villarreal guy, and you've got Flynn Downes, who was at Ipswich a couple of seasons ago, highly rated, went to Swansea, am I right in saying?
Yeah, Swansea,
and then you've got him now. What do you make of that signing, bro?
Do you know what? It's one that just come out of the blue. Like, we don't usually get these signings out of the blue like that. It don't usually happen. Like, we hear about it and then it's done, like, within, a few hours. He was supposed to be going Crystal Palace. They had shirts printed with his name on the back of them. All of a sudden we just come in and sign him, and from what I've seen, from what Swansea fans are saying, and from what I've seen of him, it looks like it could be a very, very good signing for the long term.
That's a fact.
Do you know what? I think it could be a big signing in for the long term. I think from what I look, his intensity and his passing ability could be a big improvement in that midfield next to Declan Rice. I think he could learn a lot of Declan Rice, and I think him playing alongside him can give us a lot there, where you've got someone where Souček isn't the best passer of the ball. You have Downes in there who can.
I know Toby rates him. Toby rates Souček.
Listen,
best player in the world.
Best player. Listen, Souček's got qualities, but passing isn't one of them. So you get Flynn Downes and you can.
What? I thought one of the best midfielders in the league should at least be able to pass the ball.
One of the best. Listen, I'm saying he has strengths and weaknesses like every player.
Okay.
He's better at just
All right, bro.
Yeah.
Lawless, do you still think he's better? Do you still think you'd have him in a 1-11 over Bentancur?
You know what? Listen, Bentancur, he had a little purple patch when they signed him in January. Let's see him over a season. Let's see him over.
This is a seasoned international, bro. Man said purple patch, but that's all. I'm not even going to speak on this debate anymore. The real people know what's what, so it's cool.
Yes. Listen, well, we'll see. But listen, Flynn Downes, he's going to be the guy that we'll be comparing. I think not straight away, but I think there's a lot of game time for him to have this season. And I think he'll only improve under Moyes and the coaching staff. So yeah, I'm definitely buzzing about that one. He's a West Ham boy. He grew up, his parents support the club. He was going to Upton Park, all of that stuff. He gets the club. He's got the passion side to him. He seems to have the technical ability there. Apparently, he likes a yellow card, so that's maybe a bit of a downside. But yeah, hype from that. DANJUMA. I can't say if that's going to happen. It don't look like it. It looks like Moyes don't fancy him. Moyes is just starstruck by Lingard. He's so obsessed by Lingard. And Lingard is just dragging things out. He's doing his TikToks, all of that stuff, and just enjoying it. He's having the time of his life this summer and just getting about football, which I just don't know how I feel about Lingard. I don't know, man. I'm in two minds.
Mate, he's shopping himself round to Everyone. He's
He
even
is.
gone to America to. I've already went to America to hear pitches and stuff. Listen, I'm all for that, man. The power is in Jesse Lingard's hand. It's his career. He doesn't have to conform to what people. He doesn't have to
But
conform to anyone's
what does
standards.
that say if you're shopping yourself to a poor league like MLS?
It says
Does
that
that say that?
it says that he's 30 years old and he wants to check and he also wants to live life. That's what it says.
Yeah, like he's not. But that's what I'm saying. Mentality wise, right? If you're looking to go, do you know what? I want to get back into the England squad. I want to be playing at the highest level. I want to prove myself. Well, you're going to say it's the Premier League. But if you're looking to, like you said, get a check, enjoy your life, live in a sunny, climate and all of that stuff, then you choose MLS. So that tells me that maybe he's not so serious and he hasn't got the mindset anymore. And he's sort of checked out.
He played for England. Yeah, I think you make a fair point on that, but he can also say, "Listen, I've already been capped for England. I scored at a World Cup for England. I scored. Didn't he score in a knockout game for England, or was it group stage? I can't remember. I think it was group stage. But he can say that. Listen, he can also say, yeah, the chances of him getting into the England squad are kind of slim right now. When you look at the pool of talent that's available, if I want to get the bag, it's my last big contract. Let me make sure that it's fruitful and let me make sure that I actually enjoy it. So I can't begrudge Jesse Lingard for taking the easier and less mentally stimulating option. But yeah, you're right. If he actually does have aspirations of wanting to be in the England team, then yeah, he's making the wrong move.
Which I think he could get in there. He was on the cusp, like when he was with us, and
I think this Lingard thing is a madness with his wages. I don't care where he goes, if I'm honest with you, because I think he's a player that will easily get a club. But this 180k a week thing, I don't know. I have issues with that. I don't think this guy's worth that much. I don't know what your thoughts are. Would you be happy, Lawless, if he come to West Ham, you paid him 180k a week?
No, and because he apparently dropped his demands to 150.
Wouldn't that be your highest earner?
Yeah, he would be. Even at 150, he'd be our highest earner. Which is it's silly. And people say that, it's a free transfer, so it don't matter. But it does matter because you have a wage structure and you have a dressing room where players are all getting paid a certain amount, and then they see someone come in who maybe isn't as good as them or hasn't put in the graft that they have to get to where they are, getting paid more than them off the bat. It upsets people. So I would rather pay him 100k or 120 max, give him a little signing on fee or a performance bonus. Like, to me, that makes more sense than him coming in and going, I want 150, 180. Like, what was he getting paid at Man United? Like 75, 80k a week?
He's getting 100 grand a week at Man United.
Was it 100 grand? I thought it was just less than that.
No, he's definitely getting 100 grand a week.
But like,
I don't begrudge him for wanting an upgrade on his contract, and I also don't begrudge him for wanting a payday for his last. This will be his last big contract because nobody's offering Jesse Lingard big money in 3 years' time. Yeah, so he wants to make sure that he maxes out how much he can get. So I'm not even mad at him for asking for that.
If no one pays it, what's the point in asking for it?
But then you say no one's going to pay it. But if he's a free transfer, his thought process is maybe the money that you're saving in potential transfer fees, just use that into my wages.
There hasn't been, as much as there's been links with Spurs, with Everton, with Newcastle, with us, no one seemed to really gone and said, we're going to pay you what you're asking for. We're going to slap down the 150. We're going to slap down the 180. So there's no one really calling out to pay that money.
That Dybala comment as well. I heard Dybala's asking for 100k net. So that would mean that he would probably be on around 190 to 200 grand gross. So
wow. Yeah, I haven't heard the Dybala stuff, and we'll come into that another time. But just lastly, Lawless, before we move on, this DANJUMA thing, like what's the likelihood there? Is that something you reckon you'll go in for again?
I think it's slim. I think he wanted to come to West Ham. His agent was offering him to us. He seemed interested in it. There was a bit of interest from us, but I think it was the board were more interested than Moyes. And apparently the board were trying to convince Moyes to sign him, but Moyes was unconvinced. There's all these rumours about him not having the best attitude, which from what I went digging deeper, it seemed to just be that he is someone who likes to win. And if he feels players, his teammates aren't putting in 100%, he'll let them know about it. Which is weird because to me, when I hear that, I think, well, that's a better attitude than someone like Lingard, who is just out for like obviously the last payday and a holiday and things like that, where you want someone that's desperate to win. But Moyes seems to be unconvinced. And this is the thing. Someone asked about Vlasic. Look what happened there. Like Moyes just did not fancy him, did not really give him a chance. And now we've got a 25 mil player that just, I don't know how much we're going to get for him, but there's definitely, I can't see him getting a chance. So as much as I'd like to, a lot of our fans would like to see DANJUMA, we don't want to sign another player for big money that Moyes isn't going to really play. So that's my worry there. But I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest, unless we're desperate and no one else is there and we just go back in for him.
Cool, man. Two comments before we move on for you, Lawless. One is DANJUMA or Brower? Who would you rather have?
Broja, yeah, 100%. 100% Broja. Like, need that striker. Prem, you know, obviously he's scored goals in the Prem. DANJUMA obviously didn't score any goals last time. He's a bit more of a known quantity, but I think DANJUMA's quality. But Broja, yeah, for sure.
DANJUMA looks good, yeah. Looks good.
Yeah, he does, to be fair. He does.
Why does everyone keep saying I'm sleeping? I just do this. I'm listening.
Yeah, what is that about? Yeah. It's like you're like an artist. You're listening to the new beat your producers made, and you're
no. I'm just
listening to Burna Boy, isn't it?
It's because the position you lot are idiots. It's because the position I'm placed now, it's like I'm looking downwards as opposed to looking upwards. So, yes, like this. Like now, when I'm watching this, I can see you both on the screen, but it looks like I'm sleeping. I'm literally looking at both of you.
It's calm, man. It's calm. Lawless, what will happen with Vlasic? I think that's a good question.
I think you'll go. I think you'll probably go out on loan. I can't see anyone paying anywhere close to what we paid for him. So I think a loan is likely. He was linked with a loan to Italy. I can't remember, one of the clubs in Italy. I would like to see, I think, a loan move for him in one of the clubs that got promoted, like Nottingham Forest or something. I think that would be good for him. I think he's a decent player, and I think he just needs to be in a team that needs him, and he'll be guaranteed to play week in, week out, and I think he'll come good. So I think it will go on loan, and we won't sell him this summer.
Bit of a strange one, man. There's a lot of money, to be fair, for what has happened with him. And a super chat from Adela. Big up yourself, mate. Thanks so much for the super chat. Brower and 50 million for Declan Rice. Oh, man. What's the thoughts there, Lawless? Can you imagine?
No, because I don't know.
That's a good deal.
That is a good deal.
You say that, but you say that, but you might as well be saying to be 90 million for Rice.
Yeah.
Would we take 90
that's,
million for
that's astronomical money for Rice. What?
Oh. Leave it out, man. Leave it out.
Wait, how much do you think he's worth?
This is what we want for Rice, yeah?
No.
We're
Cool.
wanting 120 mil. Minimum.
No one's paying that for Declan Rice.
But then don't pay it.
You're right. You're right. You have every right to demand that, but nobody's gonna pay that for Declan Rice.
Yeah, like you. What did you turn down for Harry Kane?
Apparently, they didn't even make a bid. But yeah, I told you the price was 150. So
the price was 150. There you go.
I mean, there's way more justification for paying 150 for Kane than there is 120 for Rice. Way more.
It's all relative, though, isn't it? Like
I don't think it's relative though. You're paying 150 million for goals guaranteed. Like the proof is in the pudding.
How much do you think he is worth then, Lawless? I know you say you want 120 as a club, and of course you will, because you're going to go over the odds. But how much? Because I think 90 million is about right, is it not?
90 million is
it's
about 20 million too much, or 15 million too much. Declan Rice is like a 75 million pound player, man.
Yeah, I tend to go with Tobs here. I love him. I think he's wicked.
I think he's really good. But come on, like it's just getting silly now. 120 million for
we don't want to sell him. We don't want 100
for industrious midfielder. What the hell?
We don't want to sell him. Tobs.
I'm not saying you should sell him. I'm saying that price is it's evident that you don't want to sell him because nobody's going to pay that price.
Tobs, like look at it this way. If you've got your car, you love that car. That car is everything to you. It's got personal, value in it. And someone comes and offers you like market value for that car, you're going to say no. Like it's going to take more than market value for them to convince you to prize you away from that car. Like
and I think more than market value is at 90 million. That's more than market value.
This is a player that we've got to replace. And then some. Like we can't just buy one player and replace him.
I hear you. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I get your perspective as a West Ham, as the club. I get it. But what I'm saying is other clubs are not going to pay that for Declan Rice. They're not going to pay that.
If Grealish was 100 mil, Rice should be more than that. Rice,
why?
because he's a more important player than Grealish.
For it's relative. It's for Man City though. But the point I'm making is this: Jack Grealish, was overpriced. Jack Grealish was massively overpriced.
Yeah, but I'm just
And
saying.
you say, and Lawless, you say as well, like Rice is more important, but I would say Grealish was as important for Aston Villa as Rice is for West Ham.
He was
important for
I think he was more important for Aston Villa than
no, only because they built their team around him and made him so important.
Exactly. So he was more important for their team. So he was more important for their team, and he's an attacker. He's actually putting up numbers. You're going to pay more for it in the market. You're going to pay more for attackers than you do for midfielders.
But you're not just getting a midfielder. You're getting a captain. You're getting a leader. You're getting all of those things.
So Man City, and they overpaid.
Who? What? Grealish is a leader? No, he's not.
No, Grealish was Aston Villa's captain.
Yeah, he was their captain just because he was their best player. That's the only reason he was their captain. But it was nothing to show that he was actually a good captain and the duties of a captain and had that leadership value. He was just happened to be their whole thing was pass to Grealish.
All I'm saying is this, Lawless. I completely get your point of view, yeah. But if you were me and Potts, and you weren't a West Ham fan, yeah, you would be saying no one's paying that for Declan Rice. That's mental money. No one's paying that for Declan Rice. You can ask it. You can ask it because you want to price. That's you're doing the right thing. You're pricing him out of the market so others can't steal a march and get your best player. But
to be fair, it's similar because it's similar to what you did with Kane. Because actually, you did price him out. Because otherwise, City would have gone in. We're 150. We don't care about money. They priced him out because they didn't think he was worth that much. And to be fair, they've got the better deal now with the Haaland situation. So I think it's quite similar in a way. I think you were asking over the odds for Harry Kane. I think West Ham will ask over the odds for Declan Rice. I think the difference is, I do think Declan Rice wants to play for Chelsea. I do think he does, and I think that because he had that. He's obviously come through there with him and Mason Mount were really close. I do think that he probably will go there one day. I don't think he'll go this summer. I really don't. I think he'll stay at West Ham. But he's not going to be there forever. Like I don't know if you agree with that, Lawless. Do you think you can keep Declan Rice?
No, like obviously there's certain things that need to happen, like for that to even be a possibility, and it's going to be us getting Champions League football or winning something. Like we have to try and match that ambition, or show him in the transfer market and bring in quality players and see there's progression and go, do you know what? I could be here for maybe another 3 years and see that there's progression. Phillips, Rice, I'm telling you, Rice is so clear of Phillips. Look what happened. What was the game? England got battered. Was it Hungary or some shit like that?
Yeah.
You had Phillips in the side. But who was the key player that was missing? Declan Rice. You had Declan Rice in that side. That result don't happen.
Yeah, I agree. I like Calvin Phillips actually, but I do think Rice is better. I like Calvin Phillips, but I think Rice is better. Yeah, I agree. He is 100%.
I just think we put that price on Rice because we don't want. If we wanted to sell Rice, we'd go. We need to put a price on him that people are going to pay. Otherwise, we're not going to sell him. But because we don't want to sell him, it's like, here's the price. This is the only price that we're going to consider. And people go, well, I'm not paying that. Well, good. Fuck off.
Well, exactly. That's the point. You're pricing him out of the market. But then the downside of that is teams won't come in for him. And then obviously you get more years, but you potentially lose out on money because let's say he runs, how many years has he got left in his contract? 3 years? 2 years?
I think it's 2, but an option for a third. If I remember rightly, an option on the second or something.
So it doesn't look like he's going to sign a new deal. Let's be real. So if he runs his contract down to maybe a year, then you've basically shaved off like 70% of what you could. In fact, no, probably 60% of what you could stand to make had you had sold him for a reasonable price. Maybe like when he had 2 years left in his contract.
But then we've got like a quality player and then more time to consider replacing him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but you're gonna have less. You're gonna have less money to replace him. You said you're gonna need 2 players, so
yeah, but it gives us. So say Flynn Downs comes in and we have him with Rice and
sorry,
huh? You're only just listening to a whole conversation about Flynn Downs, who we just signed.
Yeah, but I don't know who he is as a player. Like, where is he?
But we just talking. He was from Swansea. We come from Swansea in the Championship.
Okay.
But here's the difference, Tobes, between what we do and what you do. We scout, scouting players. That means not signing the obvious names, the big names. Everyone's like, oh, we want to get this name. Like, oh, let's just get Richarlison just because we know Richarlison and he's a name, and get Jesus and that. We scout. We look at a player and we look at their potential. Yeah. You know what I mean? We're playing on legendary difficulty. Yeah.
Or you're just
on
DANJUMA
mode. You're playing on easy mode.
You don't even have proper training facilities, and you're talking about expert scouting. They're scouting from a porter cabin in East London somewhere. Like you don't have this amazing scouting network. Look at your big signings. Jared Bowen was an obvious signing.
How was he an obvious signing? You weren't linked with him.
It was an obvious signing. Kurt Zuma was.
You didn't even know about him. You never heard of him.
Of course I did. Of course I knew about Bowen from Hull City. He was ripping up the championship. Who didn't know about him? What? And second of all, yeah, you're saying, oh, we don't sign obvious players. That's because you can't sign obvious players. They don't want to go to West Ham. You can't sign obvious players. The top play, the better players, they don't want to go to West Ham. And they don't want to go to West Ham. So I don't really get the point here.
Listen, you've got to scout. Like, you can't. You've been complaining about how Spurs ain't had the money and Spurs don't spend.
Really?
But if you would have managers that scout and find talent, like, we don't sit there and go, let's sign players that Tobes knows.
Guys, I need to move location, so I'm coming back into the stream.
You better run. Innit? You get it. Yeah. Manager and the scout department go, all right, let's scout players that Tobes knows. Who does Tobes know? Does Tobes know Flynn Downs? Oh no, I don't think so. All right, we'll pass on him. Like, come on, every time I bring up a player like Aguerd, who Aguerd. Like,
he likes to.
Tobes ain't heard of him. He can't be like, I don't, look at it that way. Souček, no one heard of Souček. No one heard of
Anderson, Chicharito, to be fair.
I'm not saying we've never signed names. I'm saying we don't just sign names. It's not just.
No, I agree. I do agree.
Do you know what I mean? Like I said, Soufal coming was really good.
Soufal and Souček I didn't hear of. I didn't know much about them too.
Yeah, no.
And then obviously they come in. That's fair play to you, to be honest. But just lastly, then Lawless, while Tobes is getting ready before we move on to Arsenal, I'm gonna ask Tobes this as well. What does a dream window look like for you?
I love that comment, by the way. To dare is to run.
Oh, I just seen, man.
Oh, mate. That is quality. So dream window for us. Broja coming in, definitely getting a striker. Getting that wrapped up. I would say, look, as much as I'm over Lingard, I think Lingard still, if he is about, and if he come in and Moyes can get him motivated, Lingard definitely. And the left back, I don't know who yet, because some of the quality ones we linked with, we sort of moved on from them quickly. So, but getting a quality left back has to be a must.
I think we're looking at that situation as well, man. So it could be interesting to see what names you're linked with and who we're linked with.
Yeah, I think we are. I mean, because I was interested because you was looking at Aaron Hickey, right?
Yeah, and he's gone to Brentford.
Because we were looking to, and I'm thinking, why did we not go for this guy? So what was
it was like 12 to 15 million. It was quite an okay price as well.
I would have definitely gone for him. So I don't understand. Yeah, they got another player that we were linked with, and I can't remember who it was now. And you're just like, what is going on? So
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I think if you got Lingard, you got Broa, and if you got a left back, fair play, you might be a bit short in other areas as well. But you've got to say that's a fair window to get in the players you've also got in already. So I think that'd be a really good window for you, man.
Yeah, because we're covered centre back wise. We got Soufal at right back with Johnson that can play left or right. Creswell as a backup. Then you've got Rice, Souček with Flynn Downs potentially providing competition for Souček. Bowen on the right. Then Lingard, and then you've got like Ben Rama or Lanzini as a 10, and then Antonio or Broja up front.
For nows as well.
For nows as well. Yeah, for now. So there's depth there. I think that would give us the quality to have to go far in the Conference League and then compete still to get back in the top 6 again in the Premier League. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. No,
He's
fair
back.
enough, man. He's back. He's back. How you doing now, Tobes? You all good, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me? Sorry, I've had to
Yeah,
move
yeah, all good,
my
mate.
sisters
Nah, it's
here,
cool,
man.
man. It's cool. Laura said you were running off because you couldn't stand the heat, but you know.
Right.
Nothing to
So-
do with that. I stand by what I said. West Ham can't sign the caliber of players that we can sign, and we're not even big dogs like that. So what does that say about West Ham? So
Listen,
he's talking about you spoke about. I heard you whilst I was getting set up. You speaking about scouting. Romero was good scouting. Did anyone know? I know he got Serie A Defender of the Year, but how many people were talking up Romero's name before we signed him?
how can
How
you
many
get
people-
Syria Defender of the Year and then be like, we've just signed this unknown player that no one was talking about? I'm sorry.
But then I
you
can say the
can't
same
claim
with
that.
you. You tried to tell me that Jared Bowen was an unknown quantity, even though he was routinely like one of the top scorers in the championship. That's what you
Yeah,
tried
but
to
like
say.
Syria is held at a higher standard than
Who
the
watches
championship. Like, four people-
in England? What type of what leagues are viewed more? Premier League and Championship or Serie A? How many people in England are watching Serie A?
Yeah, but
How
all
many?
right. So, but look at it. Like I said, Sufal, Suchek, Ogbonna. Yeah, before him, like
Ogbonna was people knew about what?
no one knew him. Like he
played for
played for a good
Juventus.
team. Yes, he played for Juventus.
He played
But
for
no one was
Juventus. He
talking about him like that.
He literally played for the biggest club in Italy, and you're telling me that he's an unknown quantity. What the
I
hell
didn't
does
hear
that even
anyone
mean?
doing backflips when
What
we
the hell
started. I
does
didn't
that
hear
even
like
mean?
was you sitting there going, oh no, West Ham have got Ogbonna. I can't believe it.
No, I said, yeah, that looks a good signing for West Ham.
Like I think you look at a few players like for now.
I can't believe this argument. Oh, poor us. We signed good players that you already knew of, and you signed players that I've not really heard of. Oh, yeah, that must mean your scouting network is great. How many of your signings have banged? How many of your signings have banged in recent years?
Good number of signings I've signed.
So yeah, compare the hits to misses. Compare the hits to misses, and then
more
how
hits.
many?
More hits.
More hits. Last season,
Yeah,
how many
more
players
hits.
did you sign? How many players did you sign? Zuma,
We signed Zuma.
Vlasic. Who else? Zuma, Vlasic. Who else?
Areola on loan, who banged. We've signed on a permanent now.
Yep. Who else? There's more. I know there's more. You didn't only just sign 3 players last season.
We didn't sign many in the summer. We didn't sign many, to be honest. I'm trying to even struggle to remember who else we signed because we hardly signed anyone. It was more like the previous summer. That's where we started signing players. Like and yeah, like you got to say, we haven't signed many misses. That's what I'm saying. We haven't signed many misses.
Sufal, I'll give you Sufal and Suchek, but the other ones I'd heard of, Lawless. I'd not heard of Sufal or Suchek, to be fair. I don't know if you had Tobes.
No,
I've not heard them, but I heard of the others like Ben Rama. I'd heard of
Ben Rama.
obviously.
he's gonna tell us. He's gonna tell us
Jared
Ben Rama
Bowen.
is. Oh, Longley is just. The deal's been announced. So
Yeah, we'll come on to that, man. I've literally just seen that come up.
I'm just saying that for Tobes to be like, I hadn't heard of him. So what? So what if you?
I didn't say it in a.
Don't try and act like you weren't trying to throw some shade on it.
I wasn't. I really wasn't. For Aguerd, you knew I was trying to throw shade for my man. I didn't even know who he was. That's why I was asking who.
Yeah, but after we'd just already been speaking about him,
I wasn't really listening.
There you go.
I tune out when you speak. I can't lie.
See, all that talk about him looking down. He's too busy looking at. He's looking at the track listing on Burner.
No, I'm looking at Longley. Longley's just signed, so I'm putting out my video.
Listen, before we come on to Arsenal, because I do want to come on to Arsenal and Spurs quickly, I just want to get your thoughts on the breaking news earlier. Jack Wilshere has announced retirement. I know he played for Arsenal and of course for West Ham as well. Bit of a shame, if I'm honest with you, his career in terms of injuries. I never thought he was going to be this world-class talent, if I'm honest with you, but I certainly thought he was going to be a great player, and I thought that he was for a few years. I still see that game sticks in my mind at Barcelona at the Emirates. He was 19 years old. He looked absolutely fantastic, and I thought, wow, we've got someone special here. And yeah, it was never really kicked on from there, really. I just wanted to get both of your thoughts really on what a player and what a guy he comes across very, very well as well. Whenever he's being interviewed or on TalkSport, whatever, I don't think he comes across as someone who's loves himself or arrogant. I quite like him. I quite like what he says as well. So I just wanted to get both your thoughts on that kind of career really, and whether you thought he was as great as some people said, or if you thought that he underachieved. Start with you, Tobes.
I can't stand the see you next Tuesday. I can't stand him. Twat. He's always got our club's name in his mouth. He was talented. don't get it twisted. He was a baller when he was coming out the gate. He was an absolute baller. I remember him from your academy. He ripped it up in your academy, and then he went on loan to Bolton. I think he went on loan to Bolton, and he was excellent. He was absolutely excellent. And then he came into Arsenal's first team, and he was a regular. Like, he was a regular in a team that had the likes of Cesc Fabregas, Alex Song, Samir Nasri. He was top notch, man. I can't even lie. He was a baller, like a real, really, really good player, talented. And if not for injuries, he would have gone right to the top. I think. And I mean, top in England. I don't think like world stage, but he had talent, man. I think at that point, it was a very exciting period for Arsenal because you lot had not only Jack Wilshere, but you had Aaron Ramsey. And if both of them didn't have, I mean, Ramsey bounced back in devastating effect and went on to be a really good player for Arsenal. But Jack Wilshere was unfortunate in the sense that the injuries just didn't stop. They kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. But I do think that in the period in which he would come back from injury, play a couple games, go back to being injured, I felt like his influence is just dwindling at Arsenal. And it got to a point where I just felt like Arsenal was just having him around just for the sake of having him around. Like, he wasn't really adding any value to the team. When he played, he wasn't exactly playing to anywhere near to the level or standard that he played before. Yeah, granted, he'd score a couple sick compilation goals. I remember there was a game, I think it was at West Brom, where he scored an absolute rocket, ridiculous goal. And he scored a sick goal against Man City as well. A 2-2 game. I think Alexis Sanchez scored that game as well.
Yeah, class.
So yeah, like he's definitely leaving Arsenal with his highlights. Of course, his old "what do we think of Spurs" chant after you lot won the FA Cup as well. But I think it's a career that him as an Arsenal lad, he can look back on with pride, because it was at a point where Arsene Wenger was giving chances to the youth consistently, and he was actually probably up there, one of the best youngsters to come out of the academy since you lot obviously bought Cesc Fabregas for Barcelona. So I think he can look back with pride at that, but I think he should also probably look back on his career with a little bit of disappointment as to what could have happened if I was fit, what could have happened if I didn't have these niggling injuries. Now, beyond this, I don't get why he's such a slut for Arsenal. In fact, I do get it. He wants a job for life, and he's got it. He's been sucking Arsenal's cock on radio. He's been sucking Arsenal's cock in press. Oh, I wouldn't take this job if you offered me 5 million. Oh, this player is the best player since sliced bread. The other day, he was saying, I can't, like, some of the outlandish shit he says about Arsenal players. It's so obvious that he's angling at a job for life at Arsenal, and fair play to him, he's got it.
Well, it looks like he's going to get it. It looks like he's going to get a coaching job at the club, from what I'm hearing. And I can't really add too much to what Tobes has already said, to be fair. And so I'm going to move on from it. But all I'll say is this: I believe personally that he was a talent, and unfortunately for him, he goes in with the bracket of the Eduardos and the Diabis for me. The what ifs, I think, is a great way of what Toby said. The kind of injuries, like what they could have been, and they never were because of long-term injuries.
I think he's in the tier above those guys, to be honest. But I get,
I do,
you're right.
I do as well. I just feel like he goes in the bracket of what could they have been if they weren't injured, you know. And there's too many like that at this club, unrupfortunately. So let's hope we've stopped with that now.
What makes me laugh is when he left West Ham and he was talking about, I should probably be playing for a team competing near the top of the table, really, rather than like West Ham.
Crazy statement.
When he said that, and where did he go? Didn't he go back to he went to the Championship, didn't he? And then
went to Bournemouth, and then he
couldn't
keep fit, and then he went over to Denmark, and now he's retired because he's realised he can't cut it. So
exactly, ridiculous. Like, he came in at West Ham, showing all these pictures of him in the West Ham shirt when he was a kid, giving it all I'm a West Ham fan, blah blah blah. The highlight of his time at West Ham was him jumping out of a tumble dryer,
and scaring Declan Rice.
They're scaring Declan Rice.
Didn't he go? Was it at Arsenal or was it at West? No, it was Arsenal when he went on loan to Bournemouth, right?
Yeah, because he
Not,
went on loan to Bournemouth, then went back to
Before-
went back to Arsenal, then came to us.
Yeah, and he was shocking at Bournemouth. He was nothing.
Yeah,
And he
was
played
rubbish.
quite a few games for them, to be fair.
Yeah, and he was ineffective at Bournemouth.
It was Spurs that a Spurs player injured him, and it was a bad tackle on him. Actually, like it weren't one of them where it's just like, oh, Wilshere's injured. Like when he did get injured, it was one of Spurs players that really took him out, if I remember rightly. Then he come to West Ham. I was hyped when we signed him, just because he said all the right things, and you think, okay, his injury record hasn't been terrible in the last couple of years. He played a decent number of games for Arsenal when he was in the Europa League and stuff like that. Decent number of games for Bournemouth, and I thought, you know, what a player we could have. And yeah, like injury record was terrible. When he did play, he weren't that influential. Apart from I remember being away at Newport, seeing him score there. I think an assist when I was at Newcastle away. I remember him assisting like Anderson last minute. But that's it. Like just a very unremarkable career. And then he had the cheek to try and like go on his PR spin and try and downplay West Ham and come across so bitter when he just didn't do it for us. He left and we got better. So
yeah, that's true. That is true. You did get much better when he'd left.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to mention it because I see it today, and I thought fair play to him. You know, Tobs is getting his ice cream done.
Gonna get some ice cream.
And and fair play to Jack Wilshere. Gonna pick up this super chat from Lawrence. Lawrence, I hope you're well, mate. Good to hear from you, and thanks so much for the super chat. Dan, Gabriel Jesus off the mark today with 2 goals tonight in Nuremberg. Happy days, mate. Yeah, it was. Good to see him on the score sheet. Eddie Nketiah before that against Ipswich Town had scored a hat-trick, and Arsenal fans were hyping it up, saying that Eddie is the new guy. And today, I don't think he got on anywhere near the score sheet from what I'm hearing. But, of course, Gabriel Jesus is off the mark, and it's good to see, to be honest. I don't care who the opponents are in all seriousness. It's just good to see him scoring, coming on and doing what he does best, which, of course, is get involved in anything near the goal. So I want to be seeing this continue now. And I had my question marks. I know Lawless did, that he didn't think that Jesus was going to be guaranteed to get lots of goals. And it doesn't mean that now he's got 2, and he should have had 3. Apparently one was given as an own goal, that he's going to continue scoring hat-tricks for Arsenal. But of course it's a good thing. I saw the goals. I haven't seen the game. I didn't watch it today. I was busy, unfortunately. But obviously it's a good game for us to start off with. Scoring another 5 goals. That's 10 goals now in 2. So at least we're scoring. That's the good thing in friendlies, because we struggled to do that last season. So let's hope that
try and bring those goals into the league, and maybe you might finish.
Exactly. That's what we got to do, man. That's the next step, is to try and do that against the teams that matter. Let's start with you, Lawless, and we'll go to Tobes on Arsenal. It's looking like this Gabriel Jesus signing was one that took very, very long. I want to get your thoughts on that, but I also want to look at what sort of window you expect Arsenal to have, mate.
It's a weird one, because obviously, look, there's an elephant in the room. I won't touch on that. Could have knock-on effects, but I expect
we won't go down there.
we won't. Yeah, we can't touch on that. But obviously, that aside, if I put that to one side and just look at what it is that you're plan to have. Look, I expect you to still go out and spend money. They've obviously shown that they're trusting with the money for some reason. They think that he's the man to go and give up, back heavily in the window. So I think you probably will get another left back in. I can say that Tierney, for all of his quality, like you can't rely on him to stay fit. You just can't do that. It's just not going to happen. So I think that's where a good bit of money is going to be. I don't see you getting another striker in. I really don't. I really would be surprised if you went and signed another striker.
They're going to sign another forward.
Yeah, I think there'll be another winger in there for sure. I don't know what's happening. The Pepe situation is going to be very interesting, because I don't think you will find anyone who will pay anywhere near what you paid for him, let alone pay his wages. So you could either be stuck with Pepe or have to send him out on loan. But I think that's your ability to get rid of Pepe is probably going to affect you getting another winger in. Because if you get rid of Pepe, maybe you could bring in like someone on the left, someone for the right, and as for some depth, because you don't want to be as quality as Saka is, and Smith Rowe and Martinelli. You don't want to rely on those players again. Like you don't want to put everything on their shoulders because they're still young. So you need some seniority in there. and then be able to
That's the
have
word.
Saka.
That's the thing, though, Laura. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
That's the thing
Yeah,
I'm confused about so far is because obviously Gabriel Jesus is one of them. He is. You can class him at those 25, but he is a senior head because of his mentality, what he's won, and he's ready to come in now. What I don't quite understand is the others because Fabio Vieira isn't. He's a 22-year-old kid who not many people had heard of. Marquinhos is younger, 19-year-old from Brazil. And some of the other players, like this Lille guy that we officially have bid for now, Zagrova, he's 23, Kosovan winger. We've put in a few £1 million for him. It's been rejected. These are not. This is not sprinkling class talent over a young side like Edu promised. So
Did
I'm
you see
expecting to
this
see some
thing?
other bigger players coming in.
Did you see what Edu? And there was a video where Edu said something to like Gabriel Jesus, like when he's showing him around, is talking about how like we're building a young project and a young team and all of this, that, and the other. And I see a lot of Arsenal fans were sort of getting a bit worried about hearing that because it's like, okay, we've already got a lot of young players, and now we're hearing that this is still the focus is young, young, young. When you
Yeah,
want to be
100%.
seeing some experience in.
What made me laugh about that was he said all this, look, Gabriel Jesus, we got all this is our this is what we've won, like on the top of our trophies. Look round us here. He's probably thinking, Christ, I won all this in my 5 years at City. So I think he must be
Yeah.
thinking, where are we heading? And if he is hearing we're going to put young players around you, I'm not so sure that is what he wants to hear. But having said that, he's clearly bought into it because he signed for us. He's clearly bought into this process. He could have gone to Spurs. He could have gone to Chelsea from what we're hearing. I think that both teams were interested. He's chosen us because he's clearly, for whatever reason, bought into this project. So I don't think it will come to a shock to him.
Did they make a serious bid though? Them clubs, like, did they
I
ever
don't
show
think
that
so, but
they were really like Arsenal? I think were the club out of everyone who showed that they really wanted him. And I think as a player,
so.
that's
I
important.
think he wanted it as well, though. I think.
Yeah, I think that's what helps. I think when a team comes for you and shows they really want you, and then you sort of look at some of the quality youngsters there, and they show, okay, this club is serious about me. They see me as the guy. They're interested in me. That's what I want. And you've got like clubs like Spurs and Chelsea that are like I'm in and are in, and they're looking at other players, and then you're looking at Spurs who have Harry Kane, and then Chelsea, like, are they gonna be, still flirting with other? I mean, they haven't really done any movements, like, really. So to him, I think that was the best choice for him as well, because this is a club that wants you. They're trying to show that you're going to be the main man. The problem is, it's like you said, like, what's going to be around him? What quality players are going to be there that are good and experienced now? Because he's as experienced as he is with winning at the top, he's coming from a club where he was like one of the young players there. He wasn't one of the players that was relied on week in, week out to be the difference maker. And now he is. So, yeah. I don't know, man. It's really hard to predict for Arsenal, for sure, man.
It is, man. Before I bring Tobes in, I want to bring a quick comment on this, which is from Bricks. It says, Potts, how many more signings do you think Arsenal need? Well, I think I'll tell you what I think we'll get, not what I think we need, because what I think we need is unrealistic. It's not going to happen in the one window, because I still think there's a lot of work for Arsenal to do. I think we're going to get a left-back, as Lawless touched on, West Ham also need. Don't know who that left-back's going to be. I think they want it to be Martinez. From what I'm hearing, he's rumoured to be more likely to go to Manchester United because of his connections with Ten Hag. So I don't know if that one's going to happen. So we may have to move on from him and go and look at somebody else. So I think we'll definitely get a left back. We're going to get another wide player because Pepe's going to go. Whether Pepe goes on loan, whether someone wants him for 20 million on the cheap, whatever. Could be issues with his wages, but we're definitely going to look to replace him. And it looks like we want this Lille winger that I've not heard much about, Zagrova.
Yeah.
That's the guy that we want him.
I see clips of him, courtesy of your fan base, so that they're already noshing themselves off. And
They will be, trust me.
Pretending as if he was high up on their wish list. It's a disease at this point. I've never heard of him, but he looks like he's got a wicked left foot. But in typical fashion, this could be the signing we need. Oh, wow. How are Arsenal getting such a free run at such a talented player? This, that. It's just give it a fucking rest, will you, man? Honestly.
I must admit, I can't sit there and even say that he's lying, because this is what we do. We gas up our players, already links to them, and then we make out that we knew them all. We did the same with Fabio Vieira. I'd never heard of the guy, and all of a sudden he's the next highest best thing, the next Bernardo Silva. He's the highest rated player in Portugal. All this comes out, and I think, wow, why did nobody have him on his wish list then? Because nobody had Zagrova and Vieira on the wish list. I'll tell you that now. Anyone who says that they were, they're lying, because I didn't. I'd never heard of either of them. I can't lie. I don't watch enough of them of them leagues to know who these players are. But what I do know is that they could be the next Tomiyasu. But I don't sit there and start doing videos about them and say how fantastic they're going to be. And I didn't do it with Mark Winos either because I've never heard of him. So we need to be realistic about these signings. We do need another winger if Pepe's going to go. I still feel we need another striker, somebody who's in the kind of mould or ilk of a Olivier Giroud type, but I can't see it happening. But I do see our midfield getting better. Milinkovic-Savic, somebody's asking in the chat, would you take him? Yeah, I would. I don't know how realistic it is, but from what I'm hearing in Serie A, he absolutely kills it. Wonderful footballer to watch. Got some presence and ability on the ball. And the other player that we are heavily linked with, again, is Yuri Tielemans, who I do like and I would take. And I think those sort of signings would excite me more than, of course, the likes of Fabio Vieira's. So it's going to be interesting to see where we
El
do
Neni
go.
get a new deal, though? So what do you think about, because obviously Xhaka and El Neni will still be at the club this season.
So that's my next thing. Is El Neni will be, whether Granit Xhaka wants to be a squad player or not is a different scenario. I'll be surprised if he does want to stay in the squad. If I'm honest with you, I'm getting some background noise here. Can anyone hear that? It might be Tobes. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, it was you. I don't know why, but it's all good. It's gone now. But yeah, no, I feel personally that if we do get a couple of these players in, if it was a Savic and a Tielemans, Granit Xhaka will probably go because I don't think he wants to be a squad player. Tobes, let's come to you, man. Talk to me about Arsenal.
Where's he going?
I don't know. I think Roma wanted him.
He is going anyway.
I don't know. I think Roma wanted him last summer. Maybe he'll look to go to Italy. Maybe back to Germany. I don't know. But he's going to be a squad player. So
he was good.
He's had two very good seasons in an Arsenal shirt, but he is not.
Not left.
Yeah, he ain't a left back cover. Trust me. I just don't. But I think we've seen this movie long enough now. This Granit Xhaka movie, I've seen it. I've seen enough of it. I don't want to be seeing it again, man. So I believe we need a holding midfielder and a number 8. And I don't think that Granit Xhaka is either of those. That's good enough role for Arsenal. So if he comes in and wants to be a part of the squad, that's fine. But he won't want to be. He'll want to play.
I can't see Xhaka leaving. I'll be real with you. I can't see Granit Xhaka leaving. He's not going.
You think he'd be happy as a squad player?
I think he's going to have to accept that role. I think he's going to have to. How old is he now? 30 years old?
29. Yeah, I think he'll be 30 this year, yeah.
Yeah, I think you lot are very much in a upward trajectory in comparison to where you were before. Like, you were rubbish before, and now, like, you're half decent again. And I think he wants to be a part of that journey. So I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. And I think, most importantly, he has your manager's trust. So I can't see him going anywhere, personally.
I mean,
not right now, anyway.
I mean,
Can't see it.
Let's see what happens because, Lee was at a charity event the other day, and this comment backs it up. He's with Paul Merson, and Paul Merson said he's spoken to Edu. Yeah, and there's 2 big signings going to be happening at Arsenal. Now, I don't know what that means, big signings. What's a big signing? Is Jesus a big signing? Would Tielemans be a big signing? What does that mean? When Arsenal win the Europa League, what does that mean? What's a big signing? I don't really know what that would be. So it'll be interesting to see what he meant by that and where that kind of comment has come from, because I'll be amazed if Edu would tell Paul Merson names. I don't know. Maybe he would. I don't know their relationship. But
he might have just not said names, but you see, Edu's not gonna sit there and go, "Yeah, we got some right shit coming in." And
yeah, that's so true.
Man. We should be excited about that. He's got to hype himself up. But I think a lot of people are getting very carried away off of this story. From what I've seen, Paul Merson said that, Edu said that we got some exciting players coming. What was that season where Kroenke's son said, "Be excited"?
Be excited.
Really
Pepe, Pepe, and everyone was excited apparently. But yeah, it's nuts, man. This is what happens. We get told be excited. That's all they do. When everyone starts coming down with it, just be excited. So unfortunately, I've not been excited for a few years, man. A few years too many. But Tobes, what's your thoughts on Arsenal's window, and where do you think we're gonna be another spend loads? And do you think you're gonna get to the close of the window and go, rah, Arsenal have done all right?
I think for your sake, I need to get to the window and say, right, Arsenal have done all right, because as it stands now, I only like the look of one of your signings. I mean, it's not like I dislike Vieira, although he does look like a little run. He's so skinny, but
wait, that neck. No one said comment. He's got a neck on him, isn't he? Like, that is a
giraffe.
long neck. That is giraffe neck. Like,
He's got like the frame of Brian Hill. He's skinny. He needs to bulk up fast because he's gonna get pammed in this league if he can't. To be fair, I guess it's how strong he is on the ball. Doesn't have to be like macho, but yeah. Anyway, if your window ends as it is now, it's not been a good window in my opinion.
Agreed.
For Arsenal. I think Gabriel Jesus is a 6 signing. I guess Fabio Vieira looks like he's a good technical player. So they obviously bringing in 2 players who are technically sound that increase the technical quality of your team, specifically in your midfield and your attack. But it's not enough. I think the main concerns have not been fully addressed. Gabriel Jesus alone is not going to carry that burden. Him and Nketiah won't be enough. I think there needs to be another attacker in there to supplement the existing attack now. And then if you were able to have the 2 strikers in Jesus and Nketiah, Saka plus another attacker, and then Emil Smith-Rowe and Martinelli, that's really good depth across the 3 positions. Because let's be real, Martinelli could, for all intents and purposes, he could make the step up and score double figures next season, but it's not guaranteed. Yeah. Emil Smith-Rowe could go one step further and score more goals than he did last season, but it's not guaranteed. These guys are still developing. So I feel like whilst they're developing, there needs to be another attacker in that team where it's guaranteed no matter what. And especially when there's going to be European football next season as well for you guys, the Europa League, there's going to be plenty of games. So you're going to need that quality in your starting front line, in my opinion. So that's missing. I think left back is important. Kieran Tierney's a sick note. He misses more games than he plays. And it's like, at this point, if he's meant to be one of the linchpins in your team and you don't address that position, you keep Tavares, even though you saw how bad he was towards the end of last season, that's an L for me. The midfield situation is the midfield situation. We won't speak on any potential ongoing cases, but even irrespective of whatever's going on, you lot needed cover for Thomas Partey. I've not seen it. Right back, Cedric is not good enough even as a backup, and I've not seen any improvement there. So that's left back, right back, midfield, and attacking positions. That's 4 positions missing. You lot sacrificed no signings in January. Yeah. You sold off your most informed attacker in recent years because he was a bad influence in the dressing room and he fell out with the manager. Fair enough. But you didn't bring anyone in. You suffered in January, didn't bring anyone in, missed out on top 4 on the premise that you were going to strengthen and bolster the team this summer. And if they're not able to do that, then what was the point? What was the point in all the pain in January? Wasn't the premise that you're going to build something big? We're going to see 180 million spent. There's X, Y, Z. Do it then. Do it. Obviously, there's more time. There's way more time. Sorry, I'm rambling on and on. There's way more time.
No, you're not, man. You're actually speaking truth because this is facts for me. This is what I've been saying all along. So, you know, and I look at it and I think the positions you've just question marked are the ones I'm hoping are going to come in. I don't think we're going to get a right back because I think this Norton Cuffy's coming through and I think it looks like Cedric's going to stay.
Good. Okay, fair.
I don't like Cedric.
Get minutes?
I believe he probably will now that we've got the 5 subs and 4 competitions. I would rather get a right back, but I don't think we're going to do it.
So to be fair, if you got Tomiyasu and you want to bring in a young G, you want to blood a young G, I'm for that. I can't even lie. I'm for that. You never know. He could rise to the occasion. He looks good.
Yeah, they're saying this kid looks sick.
Tomiyasu's fitness, though. Do you worry a little bit about that?
There's question marks over a lot of people's fitness, and we weren't even in Europe, Lawless, last year when we were getting injuries. So now that we are back in Europe, what's going to happen there? So there's a really good question about Kieran Tierney, Thomas Partey, and Tomiyasu as being how injury-free are they going to be this season? That's the question I can't answer. I'd love to think that Kieran Tierney can last the season because I honestly believe he's one of the best left backs in the league. I love what Thomas Partey brings to the team when he's fit. I really like Tomiyasu as a player. They're actually 3 of my favourite players to watch actually in this Arsenal setup, but they haven't been fit enough. I like what I hear about Norton Cuffy, but I haven't seen him. We definitely need an upgrade on Nuno Tavares, and I think with Lokonga and El Neni, it ain't quite good enough. So they're 3 positions I feel we need. I still feel there's a winger need to come in from Pepe. I still feel there's a centre forward, and I still feel there's a number 8. So I'm with Toby. 100% am. What I think's going to happen is I think we'll get 3 or 4 more. I think we'll get a winger, a centre midfielder, maybe one, maybe two, and a left back. That's what I think we'll do.
Well, yeah. What's happening with Bellerin? Because someone brings that up actually. Because he's
He's
back, and
back.
there's is he? Is you think he's going to go back
Wants
on
to
loan?
go
He's
to
going to.
Betis. Wants to go to Betis, but there's problems, of course, with his wages because some idiot put him on over 100k a week. So Betis can't afford that. This is the
Yeah.
problem we've got, man. They're all over on ridiculous wages when Wenger was here, mate. So this is
This
still,
is the thing. Yeah.
damage was done years ago and it's still affecting us now. Bellerin, it was never actually that great. He was an okay footballer. People used to hype him up, but defensively he's never been good. Going forward, he's not terrible, but I'm still not sure that he can cross
He had
himself in
that
church.
pace, I think.
He has got the pace, and that's the problem is though, Lawless. People
Has he
say
still
that
got that
that
pace,
makes
though?
him. Well, no, I mean he's 27 now, I think. So he's still not old, but he's not as quick as he used to be because of his long-term injuries he's had. Another one, always injured. So time for him to go, man. Even if we have to loan him out again, I don't really want to be seeing people like that with that mentality. People say he's got a great mentality because he loves Arsenal. This guy told Alexis Sanchez he wants to win too much. Get the hell out of my club, man. I don't want people like that. Just get gone. These people need to go. So yeah, he won't be staying, mate. He'll be going somewhere. I don't know where, but somewhere. Maitland-Niles, Pablo Marie, they're all back. They need to be gone. Lucas Torreira, we're trying to do, from what I hear, a deal with this Milinkovic-Savic where we're trying to send him one way plus a load of money to Lazio so that we can get Savic. I'm not so sure that's a realistic deal, but I don't know much about that one. And obviously the Yuri Tielemans one is one. But listen, those two signings would be great. I'll be really, really happy with those two.
But don't you think that Tielemans and Milinkovic will be brought in to do similar things in the team? Obviously, Tielemans from a deeper perspective, and I think Milinkovic Savic is more offensive. I think he's probably the most advanced of a three-man midfield. He'll play like a number 10 or he'll play like an 8.5. He's like a Serbian version of like a lesser Serbian version of Paul Pogba in his skill set. Like he's a powerful dribbler. He's got a really good shot on him. He's got decent passing quality on him as well. But I feel like he's sort of like a jack of all trades that you play as the third in a free man. I think if you sign him and Tielemans, who's going to protect your midfield?
I think you're bang on because I think you're bang on. I think it's a great question, and I think you're bang on because I'm still looking at that. Where's that Thomas Partey replacement? Because I don't see it in either of those two. The reason I'd like both of them is because we've got a squad depth for them, but maybe that is just me being greedy, and perhaps they both want to come. But I do take that point, Tobes, because I look at where Thomas Partey gets injured. Where's the cover? There is none. Why can't we go and put in a bid for Ibrahim Sangare or somebody like that from PSV who can come in and be a beast for Thomas Partey's backup? Somebody like that, I'd go, right, we've got the guy we need now. If Partey gets injured, we've got someone who's a beast in there that can hold and anchor that midfield. That's what we need to be looking at. That's why I wanted Basuma, bro. 25 million would have been an absolute steal. Obviously, he was going to go play Champions League football, but I wanted him. I actually wanted Basuma and Tielemans. They were the two that I did want, the 8 and the holding midfield. But it looks like, obviously, Basuma's gone to you, and it looks like we will only get one of Tielemans and Savic, I imagine. But I would like both, but perhaps that's me being greedy. But one deal that has been done, Tobes, staying with you, is Spurs have got themselves a centre-back. I want to get your thoughts on what you think of this guy from Barcelona, Lenglet, and how excited you are for that signing.
I wouldn't say I'm excited. I can't even lie to you. I don't really rate Langley anymore. I've watched him several times at Barca, and I've just not liked what I've seen. He's been quite poor, to be honest, at Barcelona, and I just don't rate his ability to defend. Playing a high line anyway. But I'm not really too downbeat about the signing. I don't think it has any bearing on our window. I think it's been I still think it's been a really good window for us so far. And I think at the very least, irrespective of my opinion of him as a player now, it's a fifth signing in a position that we actually needed better ball players in. And what I'll say about Lenglet is I'm ready to give him a chance. So, yeah, he's not the centre-back I wanted. He's not centre-back I would have liked the club to sign. And even when we were linked with him, I didn't really like the fact that we were linked. But he's not here permanently. He's only here for a year. He can cover two positions. And most importantly, he's a player that the coach wanted. So I'm going to get on board with the signing. And I actually think under Antonio Conte, he can offer us he can offer us elements that we don't have in that back line. And what I mean by that is his quality on the ball. I think when you look at the way he plays, he's a much better passer of the ball than Dyer. He's a much better passer of the ball than Ben Davies. He's probably a better passer of the ball than Romero, and Romero is actually good on the ball. And more than his capacity to pass the ball, his capacity to play with the ball under pressure, like dribble out of pressure, step into midfield. I think he's good at these things. And if we can put him in a system where he can play in the central position of the three, I feel like that simplifies his game to the point where we can actually harness the things that he's really good at. So listen, I'm not sitting here crying about Longley. I think he will actually do all right under Antonio Conte. Not my cup of tea, but I think Conte will get stuff out of him, because
I agree.
He's done it with worse players. Because Ben Davies is not a better centre back than Longley. Eric Dyer is probably rated to a lesser extent than Longley. And look at how good those two guys were for us last season. So, yeah.
That's why I agree. I think he's better than what you've got, and I think you've got the right manager for him. I'm happy that you've got him over Pau Torres and Bastoni, because I think with those two, that would have been a better centre-half. But obviously, it doesn't mean that he's going to be a poor signing. So I think fair play. Before I come to Lawless, just sticking with you, Tobes, you've had a good window, man. I can't lie. You have had a good window, in my opinion, anyway, already. Perisic, I think, is a now player, and I think he's ready. I look at Richarlison, and I think that although I prefer Gabriel Jesus, I do think Richarlison's a good player. I don't know what it'll play first team football for you. I imagine you'll stick with your front three, but he's going to come and do bits around there.
He'll play a lot of games. I think he'll play a lot of games.
I agree. He'll still play.
With the amount of games that he'll play. I think he'll play a lot.
Yeah, I think he will. Obviously, Basuma looks like Jed Spence is probably going to happen at some stage. That's a good window, man. You got to be happy so far, bro.
Yeah, I'm happy. I don't want it to stop though. I still think we need another centre back, ideally this window, and if we can, let's try and get that fifth piece in the midfield. It's a lot of signings, 7 signings. But listen, we were starting from a really, really bad position, and most Spurs fans I spoke to going into this window were saying it. We said minimum we need 5-6 players. 6 minimum. That's what we were saying.
No, I think we're in the same boat, mate. I think both of us. So, before I come Lawless, I asked Lawless this earlier, and I had to ask you, what would your dream scenario be now? Your dream window to finish it off for you, Tobes?
I thought you were asking Lawless, not me.
No. I asked Lawless earlier.
Asked me earlier.
Sorry.
No, you're cool. What would your dream scenario be in terms of Tottenham's transfer window?
My dream scenario is we sign Bastoni to play left centre back, and we sign a goal and passing orientated midfielder as our fifth midfielder, someone like a Maddison or a Tielemans or someone like that. That would be my dream scenario. If we could get Bastoni, that would lock down the left centre back spot in our team for years to come. But I'm also understanding in the fact that it's going to be difficult to get him out of there this summer, because obviously Inter have decided to sell Skriniar instead of him. But yeah, my dream scenario would be adding definitely Bastoni and midfielders like Maddison or Tielemans into the team. People who can pass with verticality consistently, and people who can score with either feet. So yeah.
Yeah, fair play, man. Luckily for me, I can't see them players coming to you, so I hope that I'm right. But yeah, I can see why they'd be a dream scenario, man. Lawless, to finish off, mate. Tottenham, talk to me. What do you make of it? I know you hate them pretty much as I do, so you must be annoyed with their window as well.
Yeah. I have to say that, they've had a good window so far. I was, funny enough, we had a Spurs fan coming into our watch along for a pre-season, which is hilarious. Like, I haven't given it right, but we sort of talked a bit about Spurs when I was saying, because the thing is, Nicky was saying to me like, there's too many players, too much change. But I think that they've got a good core there, that the new signings probably won't unbalance the team or upset the balance of the team too much, where it is going to feel like, geez, there's all of this change,
I agree.
all of a sudden. So I think that is going to really work in their favor. They've still got plenty of time. I don't know whether they're just going to do, get all these signings in early and then like this quiet last 2 weeks where like Spurs fans are going to be going out of their mind. But if they do keep a steady pace and they still use the rest of the time remaining, they could be, a real dangerous proposition next season. Like I said, Conte, he's a quality manager and he can attract quality players. So, and if the money's there, they took out that big loan or that whatever that was, that big amount of money. So it seems like they probably could still have a bit of money to spend. Selling Bergwijn for 30 mil,
Good
I think
business.
it is.
That's very good business.
Really, really good business for them. And if they put that straight back into the team and strengthen, they probably should be taking a bit of a leaf out of West Ham's book and signing these gems from the Championship and all of this to come and maybe not be the players that are going to come in straight away. But I think that's where I look at Spurs, right? And I think their biggest sort of weaknesses when I look at the future and bringing in youngsters and things like that, because their academy and the young player side of things, it don't impress me. It don't impress me much.
It's funny you mentioned that, because we literally had two of our academy players right now who were part of the team that won the under-19s, and Alfie Devine was one of England's best players. Obviously, we brought him from Leeds. I do agree with you. Our academy, we've not really had much to write home about, but Skip came from our academy, and I know Potts will make his jokes about Skip, but Skip is actually a
no, I don't mind him. I just always, you know my joke.
He's a decent player to have in the squad, and I think he'll provide good competition and good depth for us this upcoming season. But you got Dane Scarlett there as well. We signed Brian. Let's not forget we signed Brian Hill and Pape Mate Sarr, two talented youngsters who don't have necessarily the frame or physique to play in the Premier League right now, but they're both most likely going to go with us on our pre-season tour to South Korea. So we'll see what's what. We definitely have some young G's coming out. But if you look at the players we signed, we've had a blend. Richarlison, 25. Basuma, 25. Even Bastoni that we were targeting, he was 24. Langley, we've signed, 27. I feel like Spurs needed to start signing some of these players who could have that balance between the here and now and something to give in a couple of years' time, because we've gone through our period. We signed Lo Celso when he was 22, 23. We signed Ndombele when he was 23. We signed Sessegnon when he was 19 years old. We signed who else did we sign? I'm trying to remember. But we signed Joe Rodon when he was 21 years old. We signed Bergwijn when he was 21 years old. We've been through the process of signing players, thinking, they're going to be X, Y, Z in 3-4 years' time. Let's give them time to wait. No, we have a manager who's trying to compete right now.
That's the difference.
You
need the team that's ready to win now.
He's got a short shelf life, so we need a team that's equipped to do the business now, whilst also future-proofing ourselves in the future. And I think if you look at the underlying spine of our team, Romero 23, Bentancur 25, Basuma 25, Skip 22, Sessegnon 21. If we sign Jed Spence, 21 years old, Kulusevski 22 years old. If we get in, obviously Richarlison 25 years old, there's something to work with there. So I still
fair play. Fair play, man. And I'm with you in terms of Conte wanting to win now. He's not going to look at one of the youngsters who's going to be good in 5 years. He's going to look at the Perisic's and the Kanes and the Sons, even the ones that are, like you say, 25. The Richarlison's a good signing. Bissouma is a good signing because they're all ready now. I don't think you're doing what we're doing, and that's in 5 years we're going to be sick. We've done that already and it didn't work. We've done that a couple of times, as I've said to you boys before, and it hasn't worked. So I can see what you're trying to do, and I think it's the right way to do it, in my opinion.
I think if we do that time, though, I was going to say, like, if they are getting all of these main targets now and they've got time, why not then invest in the academy at the same time? So you have these 19, 18, 19, 20-year-olds that can start being developed.
We have, but that's the thing. We have invested in the academy. We still need to make a decision on Alfie Devine, whether he goes out on loan or not. But we have Alfie Devine 19, Dane Scarlett 19, Brian Hill 20, I think he's 20 or 21. Pape Mate Sarr 20 years old. So
is Scarlett the striker? Is he the striker?
Dane Scarlett,
yeah.
We do have some talent coming through right now as well. So I think we've done a bit of both.
You've got the Carabao. I think when you look at the Carabao Cup, I think that could be a time for you, a competition where obviously you want to try and go and win it because you haven't won anything in a long time. But at the same time, some of those early rounds, you're getting League Two sides where you can really look and go, let's give like a 20-year-old, a 19-year-old a chance, some experience with some of the heavy hitters. That's
Maybe,
kind of
but we want to. But the whole point of what we're doing is we want to build a squad that can compete now. And if there's no space for those young G's right now, then there's no space for those young G's
I
right
agree.
now. Send them out on loan. Send them out on loan. We've invested a lot in them. Brian Hill cost us 25 million euros plus Lamela. Pape Matisar cost us around 15 million. I firmly believe that these players are in the club's plans going forward. In addition to Alfie Devine, who we picked up from Wigan, and then of course Dane Scarlett is one of our own from our academy. So I believe that these players are rated by the club, and the club are actively focusing on how they can best develop these talents. But we're also trying to win. Last summer, my critique of our business was last summer the mandate was to bring down the average squad age because it was quite old. Bring down the average squad age and add in some top quality, and we brought down the average squad age, but we didn't bring in the top-notch quality. Romero was the only player we signed last season who was worthy of starting week in, week out. Emerson Royale, who we signed, 22 years old, again, another one from Barcelona. How did he turn out? So there you go.
Sessegnon, I remember Sessegnon was the big one. Everyone was like, "Oh, Sessegnon."
He was. I remember that big time. Everyone was talking about
I didn't mind the signing of Sess, to be fair. He played really well towards the end of last season, but yeah, he's been. Listen, the less I say on Sessegnon, the better it is.
Yeah, man. I'm not so sure that's where I get. One to finish off for the stream is for you, Tobes, on a player you know a lot about and like. And Ndombele, what's happening with him, man? Can Conte work his magic? Because he thinks the talent is there. Thanks for your comment, Ace.
So, Ace, I'm not going to answer your question now, and I'm not being rude. I'm saying that because I wanted to plug my upload. That's what I was doing on my phone whilst we were doing this.
Cool.
So I've literally just dropped the video now.
You do it, man.
Like an 11-minute video talking about Longley, but also talking about Ndombele as well, and whether he deserves a second. It's not even a second chance. It'll be like a fourth chance at this rate. So check that out if you can on my channel. It's a quick watch, and you get my thoughts on Ndom.
He's not good enough for the Prem. I'll take that there. He don't deserve no chance. He's not good enough for the Prem. Ship him out. Get rid. That's it.
I don't think that's a bad opinion, to be honest.
I don't think it's worked. It's a lot of money.
I still think he's a baller, man. I can't even lie to you.
Yeah, I know you're a fan. I know he was over 60 million, so it's a lot of money, but I didn't think he was working. Didn't think he was working.
Be another player like we talked about Pepe, like big loss, but that's another player that Spurs could take a big loss on Ndombele. I mean, look, I joke. Obviously, you know, in France, he went back to France. He was decent. Yeah, he got his little tap in against us. You know, good for him. But you know, that could be a good fit. He can play for a club like he can play for the Lions and stuff, which is a good level because you know they're a good team. But I think as far as it's the Prem, you know, he's not cut out.
No, I do quite agree. I don't think it's worked for him.
The thing is, one-off games, we've seen the quality. He's had man of the match performances for us in the league and in the Champions League. But the problem is he can't package this together over the course of full season. He'll play well for a good stretch if he's starting week in, week out, and then he'll just dip in form. Like you can't depend on Ndombele. Like he's not reliable. And that's the biggest concern. He's just not reliable.
Yeah, no, it's true. Boys, this has been a class stream. I love having you two on. Love chatting with you both. I'm going to let you both go because we've been on here long enough and I know you're busy people. Lawless, get people to your channel and your content, mate. What are you up to?
Yeah, obviously at the Lawless, you know, on Twitter. You can come and chat to me there. West Ham Fan TV. We just did a watch along. Friday Night Pint is currently going on live at the moment, so you can jump there afterwards. And we got all of that going on. Obviously, London Clubs Carnage. Tobes, do your homework on Flynn Downs. I expect you to come in with a report. Yeah,
I don't care. I'm not going to come in with a report. I don't really care.
Go and do your research.
I'm not watching West Ham's business, but I'll do some research on Flynn Downs. Yes.
Yeah, and then we can see what's what.
We will indeed. Guys, head over to the Lawless on Twitter. Go to West Ham Fan TV. It's in the description, link to it. And Tobes, your link is in the description as well. At Tapping Tobes, you're doing well, man. I must say, I jumped on the other night. You and Fuad were talking some sense as always. I love supporting what you guys do, even though you're a North London rival. I love your content, man. So Tapping Tobes, people, get yourself over there, man. You're heading for 9K now, subs, yeah?
Yeah, man. I just need to get it now. I've been stuck on 8 point whatever for time, man. Just get me. I feel like once I get to 9, then it'll be easier for me to get to 10. Bang. So
of course, man. Of course.
Yeah.
Listen, everyone watching, do us a favor. I want you to do 3 things. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe. We're on the way to 3K, which I'm really humbled by to get to that in the first month. Really happy. So thank you, man. I really
mad.
appreciate
1
it.
month. Fucking hell. You're blitzing it.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate that, bro. I'm surprised that people are coming to watch it, but if they keep coming back, I'm going to keep doing content, man. So thank you guys in the chat. Absolute mad for you to do that. But please come over to Tapping Tobes as well. Smash a sub on his. Smash a sub on West Ham TV. And smash a sub if you haven't done so already on this. Thank you all for watching. Take care, and we will see you next time. Take care, guys.